If you're watching this, chances are you're connected to internet with good enough quality to stream video. But over 35,000 households in Philadelphia lack access to internet, which during a pandemic means no streaming, no social services, and no virtual education. The vast majority of these households are in Black and brown communities, and this form of systemic racism is known as the digital divide.
Philadelphia is currently ranked second worst among large cities in terms of digital divide, which is insane because we have the largest communications corporation in Comcast. If you look at a map of who has internet and who doesn't in Philly, it's often the Black, brown, poor neighborhoods that don't have the internet. At least legally, it's not recognized as a human right in this country. And so what that means is that if in-person education had stopped, which it had to, and then moved online, then there's a whole host of the students that were not able to access education. So they've been completely shut out.
What happens with students whose homes don't have internet or have bad internet connection? Is there any help?
We're trying to purchase internet hotspots. Hopefully we'll have enough to meet the need. I doubt it.
Black students are under attack. What do we do? Stand up like that.
Black students deserve the same kind of education that rich white students are getting, and so if education is meant to be a right, it needs to be accessible for everyone to have that right.
The school district handed out Chromebooks so that kids could do work, and then expecting people that didn't have reliable internet service to kind of just figure it out on their own. It's asking people in impoverished neighborhoods that are predominantly Black to, put themselves at risk, chances to get COVID.
At the beginning of the pandemic, students did not have the technology that they needed in their homes to begin this process of online learning. So that inequity was already there. COVID didn't cause that problem. The buildings are unsafe to be in on a regular day, and they're even more unsafe now with a pandemic. We don't have enough school nurses. We don't have enough mental health counselors. All of these things are things that have always been true, but I think in light of COVID, they are more visible to people. And I think people are sick of it. And that is why we are doing a lot of the organizing that we are doing. And that's why the country is organizing in the way that it is organizing right now.
Black Lives Matter.
We've had multiple comments on this call today about the importance of getting students online and the inequities and difficulties and expense around it. So my question is, has Comcast offered, for example, to temporarily open up its residential Wi-Fi hotspots to you?
We were asking all the providers to provide what they could so that we could get individuals online.
Okay, so they were asked whether they could open up their Wi-Fi hotspots, and they declined. Is that correct?
Yes, that's
okay,
correct.
Thank you for clarifying that. I appreciate that.
Internet is essential. What do we want? When do we want it? Now!
So we went to Comcast's front door. We sent them 3,000 petitions, 3,000 letters, and we made those demands on the front steps of the Comcast building downtown.
We have one simple request. This is not hard. When a generation of children's education relies on the internet, Comcast, you have an obligation to support our children and not to extort our school districts for millions and millions of dollars.
We are calling on Comcast as a community partner to work with the school board and the city. 1, open up residential hotspots. 2, stop the chokehold on download speeds. 3, provide internet to families of students regardless of past due bills. And 4, provide the school board with the data they need so they do not have to waste valuable resources for data that Comcast has already collected. Commit to working with the school board, the city, and the families to provide internet to all of Philadelphia students with temporary solutions and working toward a permanent solution to close the digital divide.
Philadelphia students who lack internet access will now get it as a virtual school year begins.
Today, I'm pleased to announce PHL Connected, a collaborative partnership to help ensure digital access for all K-12 students.
The city announced its ConnectEd program, which is an effort to provide internet to every student in Philadelphia from K-12. They're employing digital navigators. They're buying bulk orders of mobile hotspots, and then they're also buying bulk internet essentials accounts with Comcast for the next 2 years.
35,000 families receiving internet is a great start, but if you're a kid in the school district of Philadelphia, you should get free internet access.
The vision for the internet is that it is a human right. It is a utility. We do not ration our utilities. Like the last time I checked, there's not a cap on how much water we can use in Philadelphia. And could you imagine what that would look like if we were doing that in the middle of a pandemic, right? We shouldn't be doing it with internet either.
In the world that we live in, not having access to the internet prohibits you from doing things like applying for a job, paying your bills, ordering medicine that you need. So the internet should be free and available to everyone, especially to people who live in low socioeconomic areas. We aren't going to be radical and take risks right now like we're never going to do it. So we really have to push ourselves and all of the people around us to demand better for kids in Philadelphia.